Welcome back. Let's talk about the vocational mistakes that disability carriers make when they identify any occupation to justify that claim's denial or claim's determination. When the disability definition changes from an inability to do your own occupation to an inability to do any occupation, the carrier has got a lot of things to prove. First, they have to establish that you can work in a sedentary capacity. Next, they have to establish that you have transferable skills that you have learned and that you can take to lighter or similar occupations. They have to identify those occupations that you could hypothetically perform in view of your mental or physical capabilities, your education, your training, your experience, and those transferable skills. And they have to establish that those occupations pay a wage such that you can earn a salary and that no disability insurance benefits are payable. So how do they do that? Well, they employ a stable of vocational evaluators who create a report that will justify the claim's denial. What's a vocational evaluator? Well, they're an expert in the world of work. And in my view, they're nothing more than a hired gun for disability insurance companies who are looking for a way to deny benefits. But I've found in my many years of practice that there are common mistakes made by vocational evaluators in performing the transferable skills analysis or the labor market survey, or both. So what are those mistakes? Well, mistake number one is that the VE is basing their opinion on inaccurate, incomplete, and cherry-picked medical information about your physical or psychiatric restrictions and limitations. They don't consider what's called non-exertional impairments. Well, what's an exertional impairment? It's the ability to sit, stand, stoop, walk, bend, lift, that sort of thing. But there are non-exertional impairments, and non-exertional impairments can include the need to alternate sitting and standing, the impact of pain on concentration or pace, the side effects of medication on pace or concentration, attendance issues, absenteeism issues. So there are all sorts of non-exertional factors that I find that vocational evaluators never, ever consider. The next mistake I find is that the vocational evaluator fails to accurately consider your education or training in identifying those other occupations. The vocational evaluator also uses the outdated Dictionary of Occupational Titles when defining the physical, cognitive, or behavioral requirements of the alternative positions or how that occupation is performed. For example, the Dictionary of Occupational Titles still has in it as an occupation an elevator operator. When's the last time you ever saw an elevator operator? And in fact, the Dictionary of Occupational Titles doesn't have a lot of jobs that exist in today's economy. The fourth mistake that a vocational evaluator will make is they will prepare a faulty transferable skills analysis. They'll give you skills that you don't have, or they'll identify skills that don't transfer. And lastly, they'll create a faulty labor market survey. And what we see is that those identified occupations are really not gainful, or they don't exist in appropriate numbers. And it comes down to math. All of those mistakes, in my experience, add up, and they're ignored conveniently by the disability carrier. They're only looking for ammunition to deny the claim, and the liar for hire VE gives them that ammunition. So what do? I hire my own vocational rehabilitation counselor to take apart and destroy the transferable skills analysis or the labor market survey, or both. We want to show the carrier, not only are we serious about this claim, but ultimately if we appear in court, that the labor market survey and that the transferable skills analysis that the carrier is relying on is faulty and should not be relied on, and that the use of that and reliance on it is an abuse of discretion. Okay, that's a wrap. Next week, we're going to talk about knowing what policies you have and what are in those policies before applying for benefits. Hey, if you like this podcast, consider liking our page, please. Leave a review or share it with your friends and family. Remember, this podcast comes out weekly, so tune in next week for another insightful and fun episode of Winning Isn't Easy.